Good morning. How are you? It is Tuesday, June 3rd, 8 a.m. It is June already. I can't believe that. So, the topic I was thinking about discussing, there were a few topics I thought of, but I think I'm gonna just kind of combine it into one general topic, but discuss a few different items that I wanted to kind of target in this message. So again, I think everything kind of blends together. A lot of the things that I like to discuss in my videos are things that I'm going through in life, just things that I identify, or obstacles or challenges I'm facing. So I feel like lately I've been having a lot of, I don't know if you want to call it aha moments or eye-opening moments, or I don't know, emotional moments. It could be because it's the end of the year and my eldest child, my son, is graduating high school, or it could be, that my middle daughter is going to be in 8th grade next year, so it'll be her last year in middle school. It could be that my little one is doing so many things that she's changing the world, I feel, around us. So I'll start with that. So one thing I was going to talk about was something that my youngest daughter did this past weekend. So for the month of May, she was coming every weekend and working with me. And my son came a few times that I came with her. So they were working together, she was working with me. And my daughter is very outgoing. She's very independent and she wants to know everything. So she reminds me of myself, but with a little extra oomph, I would say. She reminds me of my grandma a lot, of La Bacana, just because she's just a go-getter. She's a boss for sure. So she was working. I was paying her a few bucks here and there. But the main thing that came out of it is that one day, as we're driving to work, she says to me, "Mom, I want to take the family out to eat with the money I made from work." So immediately I said, "Oh, great." In my mind, it's me, my husband, and, my 3 kids, her and her 2 siblings. So I said, "Oh, okay, where do you want to go?" She says, Kiku, her favorite place, our family's favorite place. I said, "Oh, Kiku is expensive." And I'm like calculating approximately how much she needs. So I said, "You got to work, really hard and save some money for that." Then I uncovered that it wasn't just my immediate family that she wanted to treat. It was the entire family, meaning my brothers, their children, my parents. So it's a total of 15 of us. So I said, "Mama, that is going to be a little pricey. So I don't think, you have enough money for that." So she said, "You know what? Let me then, instead of going to Kiku, treat them to ice cream." So I said, "Great." So on her own, she went on her iPad and she created a text message for the family. Mind you, the text message was voice activated. So she talks into the phone, the message, the iPad, and then it will type it out for her. She does reread it and fixes whatever errors there are, but that's what she did. Mind you, she's 7 years old. So, okay, she sends a message. She sends it on the Saturday, I believe Friday or Saturday, inviting everyone on Sunday, which was this past Sunday, to Haagen-Dazs in Ridgewood, which is her favorite ice cream, at 4 o'clock on Sunday. I told her, "Listen, some may make it, some may not. Just be aware of this." Well, everyone said they were going to be there. They loved the idea and everyone said they were going to be there. So we did it. We all went. She had a plan. She wanted to arrive earlier. She even did like a follow-up text, just to confirm with everyone that she would be there and what time. She said to me, Mom, I want to be there 30 minutes before. I want to be there at 3:30 just in case some people arrive early. And she wanted to prep the ice cream shop so they knew what was happening. So she told, the guy behind the counter what was happening, that she was paying, everyone was going to order, et cetera, et cetera. So it was great. And I remember as I was driving there, it was my father, my mom, my daughter, Adriana, and my son, who, this is part of the story, my son was at a party. And I remember saying to him, like, oh, you have a party? He's like, yeah, I have a party on Sunday, starts at 2. And I'm like, so what's happening with your sister's ice cream treat? And he goes, oh, I can go, like I can leave the party and come back. So that was his choice. I wasn't sure if he was going to or he was just going to opt out, to miss it. But no, he said he was going to go. So we picked up my son because then he's like, I don't know how to get there, etc. So I said, I'll pick you up. It's on the way. And then we'll drop you off afterwards back to the party. So that's what we did. So there's like a lot of little components to this. So, my daughter took the initiative to do this. It was great. Everyone was so happy and excited. And then my son also took time out to make sure that he participated in this and went with us. And at the moment, I didn't think much of it. But like as the day progressed and as things were happening, because even when I was dropping them off, I said, hey, I'm going to drop you guys off in the front of the shop and then I'll look for parking. And my daughter said no. She said, park as far as you can so Papa can walk, which is my dad, who hasn't been very active and likes to stay in his room in bed all day. So she knows we're always trying to make him get active and walk and get out and move. So immediately she thought, no, park as far as possible and make Papa walk. So I parked in a parking garage and we went out and my dad walked. I mean, he was a little, slow and whatnot, but he walked. We got him walking. She got him walking. So anyway, we got the shop, all that. My 13-year-old said she didn't like that ice cream and she wanted boba. So my daughter had also said we can walk to boba. So we'll have more walking for my dad and just family time. So we did that. We walked to boba and my daughter got boba. We snapped pictures. We had some family time, bonding time, laughing. We even passed some shops. Obviously, there's shops along the way on Ridgewood. And there was this one specific shop that had a setup of poker chips, poker cards, and like a poker table. And immediately, as soon as my dad said it, he just like screamed, oh, he screamed of excitement, obviously. Oh, this is what I like, and that, I was like, wow, like this really triggered my dad to get out, move, engage, talk, just activity for him, which he hasn't had. So it was great to see that. My older brother was holding him because my dad like kind of falls forward sometimes, or he walks too fast or walks too slow or can trip easily. So my older brother was holding him, which was great. And just that whole day or that whole time that we were together was very, very powerful, I feel. And that happened, everything passed. Okay, then my son was dropped off at the party and my husband dropped him off, and then when I got home, my husband said, I was talking to our son and he was talking to me about something that was happening at the party. And I just felt like, wow, like this one event has caused so many things to occur, like trickle events, like my dad getting out, bonding time with the family all together. Then my son and my dad having, my son and his dad and my husband having a connection and bonding and talking about something that helped both of them just get closer. It just made me feel so special. It made me feel like it was such a special day. Then the day after, which was Monday, yesterday, my son wakes up super early. Like he goes to the party. He gets home late, around 11 o'clock at night after the party. But anyway, so Monday morning he wakes up. he's like, hey mom, I need some money. I'm like, for what? He's like, I'm gonna buy some donuts to give to some of my teachers. So I was like, oh, okay. And in my mind, I thought, wow, like this is trickling down. My daughter treated the family to ice cream. Now my son is treating his teachers to donuts. Mind you, he's been wanting to do this for a while. So there have been several weeks that he's told me he was going to do this, but either something would come up and he couldn't go get the donuts, or something happened with some friends and whatever. It just didn't happen. But I felt that the fact that we had just gone to get ice cream, the 7-year-old child treated her whole family to ice cream, and just a few hours of socializing and bonding and great time together, I felt like it trickled down to my son. And he woke up in such a good mood, and I gave him the money for the donuts, and then he texted me, hey, I took the donuts I left the donuts in Juliana's office, which is his case manager, because the teacher that I initially got it for said she didn't want them. So I took it to them. Juliana wasn't there, but I told the rest of them, and hopefully she'll get it when she gets there. And then he put something like, so it's all done, thumbs up, I'm the GOAT, something like that, he said. And I could tell, like, normally my son would get upset if, like, he offers something to someone, they don't want it, he'd be like, oh. But I was just so proud and so happy that he didn't let that affect him. He just thought of another solution, which is something that my 7-year-old always does. Thought of another solution and took it to someone else that he knew would appreciate it, and that's it. And then he felt special, he felt good, he was confident, and he actually said something positive about himself. So it really made me feel happy. And I even said to him, you know what, I'm very proud of you that you took the initiative and you didn't let one hiccup ruin your day or put you down, and you just found another solution. So I'm proud of you, and I'm proud that you have such a good heart and you think of others. So he had done that made me very happy. Then my 13-year-old, she is a special little girl. She is very loving and caring also, but sometimes she's very mean to her sister. But she said something to me the other day, and I mentioned it to my husband too. I said, hey, Camila's getting very affected by her brother leaving for college. Mind you, he's going to be 25-30 minutes away, but he is going to dorm there, so he's not going to be under the same roof. So she's been saying frequently, hey, this is going to be so hard for me when Andres leaves. I am not looking forward to this. I'm really struggling with this. And my husband goes, oh, because he's her ride, he's her car ride. But more than that, I think they have a bond. I see them like socializing sometimes and joking and playing, and it's very, very nice to see that although they have like a age gap difference, each of my kids are at least 6 years, 5+ years apart. Yeah, they're like 5 and 8 months and 6 years difference. They still bond and they love each other. I was taken by that because I feel like I guess I didn't look at it from their perspective, how they are going to be affected by my son going off to college or impacted. I guess I was just thinking about myself, how I'm going to be impacted, but it is going to impact everyone. My mom is consistently talking about it, so I don't even think about her, but I have been thinking about me. And it made me look at the bigger picture. It made me look at when my kids come to my room and all 3 of them are joking and pillow fighting, and my 6'1", 240-pound son picks up my 7-year-old 48-pound daughter and slams her on the bed, and I'm like freaking out, because I'm like laying in bed trying to relax and rest, and they're going crazy. And I'm like, stop, guys, cut it out. I want to go to sleep. But it made me really assess and think, these are the moments, these are the times that my kids want to be with us. They want to joke around, play around, tease each other. And sometimes we like let those moments pass by, or me, myself, I start reprimanding them and yelling at them, and you're going to hurt your sister, you're going to break her neck. And instead of that, like, let me backtrack and just take a breath and soak it in, because it's true. Like everyone says, I mean, it sounds like a cliche, but everyone says, oh, you're going to think back and wish they were back home and this and that. So yesterday, brings me back to another event. Yesterday, I noticed that my hair is really, really bad. It was shedding more than ever. And even when I did my hair, it was very, very thin. And I went to work out with my hairdresser. We always work out together. And I showed her, I said, look at my hair. Like, it's like really, really bad. And she even said, oh my God, it is. And I said, I need to chop it off. Like, I just need to chop it off to my shoulders. It's really bad. So she agreed. So we said, okay, I'm going to do it today. Fit me in whenever you can squeeze me in. Long story short, she squeezed me in. When I get there, there's the daughter of this woman that I've been trying to connect with that is from her church. And she's a senior at Berean Academy, and we're chit-chatting. And in talking to this young girl, who was a beautiful girl, and she was so sweet, beautiful in and out. And it was such a pleasant conversation. And I thought, wow, every parent kind of goes through the same thing with their kid. Because then I'm asking her, like, oh, how's your mom handling this? Like, you know, are you the only one? You have more siblings, etc. You're a senior. My son's a senior. He's graduating. Where's your prom? Like, asking all these questions. And then as she's sharing all these things, I'm thinking, and then I even say, I'm like, oh, I must sound like your mom, because I'm talking to you like I would talk to my son. And she was like, yeah, but she was so sweet about it, which I felt like that would be how my son would react to someone. But anyway, just getting a perspective from someone else's child. And then I even explained to her, I'm like, listen, as a mom, like, I feel your mom. I understand, like, this is going to be hard for us. I hope you understand. And she even had like a perspective. She's like, I know my sister went to college and it was hard, but it wasn't as hard this time. She's going to be an empty nester. And I was like, wow, you're right. Like, eventually we're all going to be empty nesters. Our kids are going to leave and make their lives and move forward, you know. And I joked with her and I said, well, because she said, yeah, I'm really thinking about my mom is going to be alone. And I said, well, if she wants, I have 3. I can give her, you know, I can share one of my children with her. She's like, oh, she would take them. Like, she would love that. But, you know, we were joking about it, but it was so nice to bond and just kind of to like breathe and see things from a different perspective, and just see how one positive event can trickle and make others do positive things. So I guess this video today is about making changes, and how just one small gesture, one small offering, just one small thing can really impact the world and help you open up your eyes and see it from a different perspective. And it really made me see how my 7-year-old daughter is gonna be something big. And I've always felt that. I've always been like, this girl is she's gonna change the world. This girl is she's gonna rule the world for sure. And then the gentleman at the ice cream shop said something, and he said, wow, this shows what a great job, you know, you're doing as a mom, and, you know, you and your husband are doing as parents, raising her. And I even said, well, to be honest, I think she's raising us, because I'm learning so much from her. And it was so special to even have that bonding time with the ice cream shop owner. So don't ever underestimate those small moments or those small gestures, because they can trickle down and change the world for sure. So I guess that's what this topic is about, or this video is about. Let's all do our best and learn from our surroundings, and even from the youngest to the oldest kids, or adults or elders, can really change the world. So Have a great day. Let's make it a productive one, and let's pay it forward. Take care. Bye-bye.